Welcome to the first of many Soulcalibur 6 guides on my channel, with the help of some of the best Soulcalibur players in the UK, including these two guys you can see on screen, Silent Joel, who has shared this footage with me, and Andy Roo, the guy who has taught me everything and is helping me to script these videos. I aim to bring you the very best content for what looks like an incredible game. The purpose of this video is to help you to understand the language of Soulcalibur 6. A lot of people have already had early access to this game quite a bit, and there's a lot of resources out there that you can read to learn this game, but first you need to understand the language, obviously. So I've been in a big rush to get this video out before the network test this weekend so we can all be as ready for it as possible. Let's stop the yapping now and get into it. And we'll start with the very basics, directional movement. I'm going to assume that everyone will be familiar with the image you now see on screen. It's a number pad from a keyboard, and this is the type of directional movement that Soulcalibur uses, as it's convenient for their 8-way run system. It's incredibly simple once you wrap your head around it. 5 is neutral. You'll very rarely see 5 come up in notations at all because it's not necessary, it just means you're not pressing anything. This system treats you as if you're always on the left side of the screen. So 6 doesn't mean to the right, it means forward. It always means forward. And the rest is pretty easy to figure out. 8 is up, 4 is back, 2 is down, and then 9 is diagonal up forward, 3 is diagonal down forward, 1 is diagonal down back, and 7 is diagonal up back. That's the directions out of the way. Now let's get on to the button notations and then we can give you some examples. Your 4 main face buttons are A, B, K and G. A is for horizontal attacks and is executed with a square on the PlayStation pad and an X on the Xbox pad. Whereas A moves are used to catch people who are sidestepping, B moves are vertical and will catch people who are ducking. B is triangle on a PS4 pad and Y on an Xbox pad. K is generally for kicks, but is also used for most of the non-weapon moves in general. K is circle on a PS4 pad and B on an Xbox pad. And finally G, or guard. Obviously this is the button that you press to block. G is X on the PS4 pad and A on the Xbox pad. Next up I'm going to give some move examples with their notations to make it clearer, and then we'll be able to get into some of the rules of how notations are put together. 2A is a generic, high crushing, fast special mid interrupt tool. It is comparable to a down jab in Tekken and it has the exact same input. Down and square on a PlayStation and down and X on an Xbox. Another generic move and notation that can be compared to Tekken is Freebie, which is the exact same input as a down forward 2 in Tekken, which is a generic mid launcher, just the same as it is in Soulcalibur. You can see Zasalamel's getting blocked here. In this next clip you're going to see Zasalamel beating a low with a jumping attack in 8B, and then backdashing and whiff punishing with 6-6B, a long range mid. Moves performed with a 7, 8 or a 9 are very likely to be airborne moves that will crush lows. 6-6 or forward moves are likely to have good range. Unlike Tekken and some other games, Soulcalibur notations do not include commas in between notations. This is Zasalamel's 6AB. If it was to be in Tekken, you would notate this forward +1, 2. So you have to get used to connecting the 6 and the A even though there is no plus sign. However, you do use a plus sign when 2 buttons are pressed together. For an example, A plus B is a generic break attack. This is performed with no directional movement, just square plus triangle on a PlayStation or X plus Y on an Xbox. Once again, similarly to Tekken, the state that exists between going from crouch to standing exists and has its own moves. But whereas in Tekken, while standing is used because while running is also a thing, in Soulcalibur the most popular term is while rising, so WR. And just when you thought it was getting easy, we're doing 2 in 1. This is Siegfried's AB hold. The smaller letter followed by a capital means that it's a slide input, and the second letter being in brackets represents the fact that you should hold it down. So to input this move, you slide from A to B and hold the B down. Here we have another slide input in Zaslamel's BK. This time around though we have a colon between the letters, which means that this is a just frame and needs a precise input. The white flash is a universal sign that the move being used is a just frame. And that leaves us with just one very important thing to do. You're going to have some default binds on your pad for the network test. In a later video I'll be going over in depth all of these mechanics, but for now I'll be giving you a very basic explanation of what these terms mean and how you should use them. Back plus R2 on the PlayStation 4 or back plus right trigger on the Xbox is going to give you a soul charge activation. This costs 1 of your potential 2 meters and acts as a get off me tool as well as a temporary power up. The other use of your meter is your critical edge or your super. This is performed with R2 on the PlayStation 4 or the right trigger on the Xbox. 1 button for a lot of damage and a really cool animation. And in Soulcalibur they're surprisingly safe and sometimes even plus on block. Pressing or holding R1 is going to give you a reversal edge. This stays active for a while and will parry all hit levels. There's a complicated meta behind it and I'll go into it soon. And finally 6G or forward X on the PlayStation or forward A on the Xbox is going to give you a guard impact. This is instantaneous and also parries all hit levels as well as throws. This has a just as if not even more complicated meta behind it, and once again I will cover it in another video soon. And there we have it. I hope you come away from this video much more understanding of the language of Soulcalibur 6 and ready to go out there and research the game. If that is what you want to do, please feel free to check out the links in the description. I'm going to put a lot of helpful stuff down there. Also, like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and if you're looking forward to more content on Soulcalibur 6 in the future. Thanks everyone, I'll see you all soon.